It is Halloween season, which means it's time for the ghouls and the goblins and the ghosts to come out and play. But if ghosts are real, they're not just a seasonal phenomenon. They don't just come out in Halloween season in October. If they are real, we experience them year around. And if they are real, we don't really know what they are. I know people out there will tell you they are the essence of people that have departed this plane of existence, people that have died, but we don't know that for a fact. There's people out there that tell you they know, but they don't really know. And I know I sound like a skeptic saying that. I'm really not a skeptic. I tend to lean to believe in the possibility, but I'm what you might call a skeptical believer. I believe in the possibility, but I need a lot more empirical proof of exactly what it is because people, specifically on short form videos, but you also see it on network documentaries and TV shows. People will come on and tell you exactly what they are. And they're selling you a bill of goods, which is fine. If they believe that, I have no issue with that. But honestly, they don't know either. They're just telling you what they think it is. So today we're going to talk about shadow figures. And that's kind of a new phenomenon, specifically here on short form videos, because, and I'll explain more about that in a little bit, but we seem to be getting a lot of very interesting shadow figure videos floating up in our feeds. And the thing with shadow figures, like the one you see above me, is they could be easily created. I am one that would be more apt to believe, say, a digital picture from the 90s and older, because those were harder to fake. And even though you could possibly explain them, they're a lot harder to explain than a lot of the stuff we see today, like this picture that you see right now. It's clearly not the guy sitting down, it's not his shadow. It's clearly not the guy behind him. Could it be sort of a trick of the camera? Yeah, it could, because you can kind of see a little bit of light from the doorway between what would be someone's arm and their body on this shadow figure, and the right side of the shadow figure seems to be distorted. So could it be like a motion blur or something like that? It could, but the fact that the guy in the forefront and the guy in the background and even the wall and the doorway behind it aren't motion blurred tends to give some credibility to this picture. Could it be somebody running into the shot? It could be. Could be a camera malfunction. Could be a poor double exposure, even though those weren't quite as prevalent in the 90s, but they were more in the actual film portion of photography. But it's a very interesting picture. Now, that being said, we're going to talk about shadow people today, and we have two videos to take a look at. The first one that I'm going to show you is, well, it kind of covers both spectrums. So we'll just take it from there. And before we even start, I'm going to shrink myself so you can all see it a little bit better. So let us continue now. Now, that one, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but that's one that I actually kind of buy or believe a little bit because it's the quintessential definition of a shadow figure, of some kind of figure walking that isn't corporeal there. Corporeally there? Is that the way to say that? Anyways, now that one is interesting because they sell it as just panning the camera, and then they went back and did a freeze frame that you're seeing right now. That could just be a cardboard cutout in a darkened room, but it is interesting that they're in this apparently abandoned building and pass by that shadow figure. I will sort of buy that one too, as well as the first one. This one, on the other hand, and they're going to show a repeat of it. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier with easily created shadow figure technology in movie making software. And this one is the quintessential reason. And I'm going to talk lot more about this phenomenon later on the next video, but specifically with this one, because this one seems to be very, very big with quote shadow figures on short form videos. And that's well, watch the video first. And you saw it just peek around the corner there and then whip its head back. I did a video, I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, of the same exact thing, of a shadow figure peeking out and then darting its head back. Why would it be doing that? And you can see it sticking its head out again. And like I said before, the technology exists for people to create these shadows within their videos now. So these are easily created by anybody. Somebody is technically not gifted as I am could sit down and make one of these and put it on TikTok or YouTube. Now, this is the phenomenon of the Hat Man. And the Hat Man, he's been around. And I don't want to say it's just an internet or a TikTok creation or a YouTube creation, because there are a lot of videos of the Hat Man, which the Hat Man is essentially just a shadow figure. And people will tell you the definition of a shadow person is a two-dimensional being that is using your energy to try to form. Where they came up with this definition, I don't know. Because as far as I know, nobody has had a conversation with a shadow figure. But the Hat Man is interesting to me. Kind of lends a little bit of conspiracy, Men in Black kind of feel. And I don't know exactly whether I think the Hat Man is real or if he's sort of an internet sensation, an internet creation, sort of like the Slender Man. But we're seeing a lot of Hat Man videos pop up now. So, as far as these videos go, that first one I actually think might be an actual shadow person captured on video. The second one in the abandoned building could be or it couldn't be. I would need to see more or talk to the people that took the video or see the location to come up with an opinion about that. The last two, I think the last two, the peeking around the bedroom door and the Hat Man hair, I think are absolute creations. And I talked ad nauseum about the one of the shadow figure that sorts of pours down behind the bed, for lack of a better phrase, rains down behind a bed. I think that one was also a creation. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let's take a look at another video, shall we?
This is the best video of a shadow person that you will ever see.
Now, you've seen me do the paranormal sleuth videos before, and I'm kind of going to be a little bit um dubious of him is the best way I can put it now. And I totally understand. He is very busy and very popular on social media, puts out videos, I don't know if it's daily or numerous times a week, and he also has a day job, and he's also a paranormal investigator, and he also goes to conventions and speaks. So he's a very busy man, and I'm sure he gets tons of videos sent his way. But of late, a lot of his videos have been what he's calling demonic. He's calling all ghosts demonic now. And as far as this video, he's going to tell you in a minute or so before he shows the actual video about his qualifier.
I can't confirm 100% that this was taken in Appalachia, but it was presented to me that way, which would make perfect sense since Appalachia is the hub of pretty much all things paranormal. I literally get hundreds, sometimes thousands of messages or emails telling me about their shadow person or people experiences. Oftentimes, it's their first paranormal encounter and it's in the bedroom or just some part of the house, just out of the corner of their eye. But this one is different. This one is, if it's legit, could it be a hoax? Maybe. But if
There you have it. Could it be a hoax? He's saying that an awful lot on the videos that he's showing lately. And as you're going to see, and maybe if you think differently, I implore you to tell me in the comments. But he's already set you up to think that this is fake. And I could set aside that before I watched this the first time. Went into it thinking, well, let's see this shadow person. And yeah, well, we'll talk about it when it gets to the actual video.
this is legit, it is the best evidence of a shadow person I've ever seen. Watch this. Tell me what you think in the comments.
I'm going to stop there because it kind of repeats and runs through again. I don't know the details of this, whether this was all in one video or it was stitched together from all their security video. But my first impression is this is completely made up and a hoax. The main reason I say that, other than you don't normally see actual shadow figures moving quite like that, usually they're just sort of there and disappear and maybe walk a little bit like that first video on the first video. But this one looks too much like just a sort of CGI created person walking. Like I told you earlier, you can easily create a shadow effect on video. And one of the reasons that I think that is the very first frame, which they're going to replay here in a second, is of the shadow figure walking over the back of the couch. And you see the cushions move from the shadow figure. Also, the shadow figure isn't supposed to be a solid object, but as you can see in this frame here, and you'll see it better on the replay, the shadow figure has a shadow. That shouldn't be possible because a shadow was created by something solid, and a shadow isn't something. Anyways, watch the replay. See the cushions move? So, yeah, I don't buy that video whatsoever. I think that one was completely and utterly created. What do I think of the rest of them? Like I said, the first couple videos that we watched, I think are possible. Could be capturing ghosts on camera. The third one with the raining down shadow figure, I think that was created. The peeking around the bedroom door, I think was created. And I don't really know what to say about the Hat Man. That one, I suppose it could be, but it could also just be a silhouette of someone standing in a darkened room, and you can take a picture and get that effect. So, do I know exactly what it is? No. Have I experienced a shadow figure before? Kind of. I experienced something walking from one room to the other, but it was one of those corner of my eye things. And the only reason it gave me pause was I was the only person in the house at the time. So, what was it? I don't know. I could honestly say it could have been a figment of my imagination. It could have also been a shadow figure. It could have also been a ghost. I don't know. But there you have it. A look at shadow people. Let me know what your thoughts about these videos and about shadow people in general. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, don't forget to hit click like and subscribe. And remember, nothing good